Hi, I'm Satyam Panday, the U.S. economist at Standard & Poor's. It's not every day that the BEA reports that U.S. GDP was within a whisker of contraction, and the FOMC, in the first line of its statement, says that economic activity has picked up recently. The FOMC seems to have written off the surprisingly weak 0.1% first quarter real GDP growth as a weather story and is more focused on the monthly sequential data, which clearly improved in March and April. In fact, Friday's jobs report blew away forecasts with 288,000 new jobs added to the economy in April. Gains were broad-based across industries. Add the prior 2 months' upward revision of net 36,000 jobs, and we have the year-to-date 4-month average employment growth at 214,000, much higher than the average of 194,000 job gains for 2013. This confirms signs of spring rebound that we have been seeing recently. The unemployment rate, which is drawn from a different survey within the report, fell to 6.3% in April from 6.7% in March. The reasons for the drop, however, were a bit disappointing. The number of employed people fell by 73,000 in April, and even with such a decrease in the number of employed people, the unemployment rate fell sharply, and this is because a lot more people left the labor force. The labor force dropped by a hefty 806,000, thus decreasing the participation rate to 62.8% in April, which is the lowest rate since August of 1978. Some of the drop can be attributed to baby boomers retiring, but still, some can be attributed to weak labor demand environment. Despite the rise in payroll jobs, wage growth stalled for a second straight month, reflecting skewed gains of jobs towards low wages. Low-wage job creation has not simply been a characteristic of the early recovery, but rather a pattern that has persisted for more than 4 years now. According to the National Employment Law Project, there are nearly 2 million fewer jobs in mid and higher wage industries than there were before the recession, while there are 1.85 million more jobs in lower wage industries. Today's jobs report will not deter the Fed from continuing to taper its bond purchases at the current monthly pace of $10 billion. That said, the jobless rate remains elevated and wage growth leaves much to be desired. Over the year, average hourly earnings have risen by a meager 1.9%. Wage pressure remains low, and the Fed's preferred measure of inflation was only 1.2% year over year, suggesting that the Fed has some cushion to maintain its zero-bound interest rates. We expect the Fed to end its bond purchases in October. We don't expect a rate hike any time before the second quarter of 2015. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Satyam Panday at Standard & Poor's.